The United States has just taken a surprising turn in its tech policy this time, possibly in China's favor. In a quiet but powerful move, the US government has relaxed some chip export rules. And while this doesn't directly mention Huawei, it could open up new opportunities for the company. Let's take a closer look. Just a few days ago, on July 5th, the U.S. Commerce Department decided to lift certain export license rules for American chip design software when dealing with China. This might sound technical, but it's a big deal. For the past few years, U.S. restrictions have blocked China from getting access to high-end chip technology, slowing down the growth of major tech firms including Huawei. But now, Washington has made a trade deal with China to ease some of these restrictions. The result? 3 major chip software companies, Synopsys, Cadence Design Systems, and Siemens AG, can now sell their software to China again without needing U.S. government licenses. These companies received official letters from U.S. authorities, allowing them to restore full access to their chip design systems and resume customer support in China. The news was so positive that their stock prices jumped by 3 to 6% in just one day. Synopsys even announced that they'll restore access to Chinese clients within 3 days. Their statement was clear: they're committed to supporting their clients and ensuring smooth service moving forward. But here's the real question: what does this mean for Huawei? Huawei has been under U.S. sanctions since 2019 and is still on the U.S. entity list, which severely limits its ability to do business with American companies. That means even though Synopsys, Cadence, and Siemens are now free to work in China, they may still be barred from doing business with Huawei specifically. So far, the US has not lifted any restrictions on banned Chinese companies, including Huawei. The new trade deal only allows chip design software sales to China in general, not to companies under sanctions. That's why this recent move is a gray area for Huawei. On one hand, it opens up the chip design software industry in China again. On the other hand, Huawei still can't legally access these tools unless the US makes a specific exception, but this change might be the beginning of something bigger. If the US continues to ease controls, more doors could open not just for China, but for companies like Huawei that have been hit the hardest. Besides chip software, the US has also promised to resume the export of ethane and jet engines to China. These products are unrelated to semiconductors, but they show a pattern. Washington may be trying to reduce tech tension with China through small but meaningful steps. Huawei may not benefit directly yet, but the overall easing could still be a boost for the Chinese chip industry. With access to top-level design software restored in China, local companies can now start building better chips more efficiently. This could help China's entire tech ecosystem, which in turn benefits companies like Huawei in the long run. Let's not forget Huawei is already working on its in-house chips, and its recent devices have shown massive improvements despite the US restrictions. If China's chip designers now have access to powerful American tools again, it could speed up Huawei's progress even more, either directly or indirectly. There's also the chance that Chinese chip design firms who are allowed to work with Synopsys and Cadence could collaborate with Huawei locally. That way, Huawei could still gain access to advanced chip designs without violating US rules. It's a complex situation, but the possibilities are there. Now, this move also reflects a change in US strategy. The relaxation comes from a trade agreement between Washington and Beijing, possibly part of ongoing efforts to avoid a full-scale tech war. And while it's too early to say whether this marks a long-term shift in policy, it's certainly a signal that both countries want to find some common ground. So to sum it all up, the US has eased chip design software export rules for China. 3 top companies, Synopsys, Cadence, and Siemens, can now freely do business in China again. Huawei is still restricted, but this could be a step toward future changes. The news caused a positive reaction in the stock market and in China's tech circles. And even if Huawei isn't directly affected, the move could strengthen the Chinese chip ecosystem, which would benefit Huawei eventually. This story is still developing, and it'll be important to watch how Huawei responds. Will they find a way to work with local chip designers who now have access to US tools? Will the US make further changes that help Huawei directly? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: this move has created new hope for China's tech industry and could be a game changer for companies like Huawei in the near future. Let us know what you think. Will the US eventually remove some restrictions from Huawei too? Or will the company continue to find success through its own chip development efforts? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.